Hello and welcome to this week's virtual edition of GTM Tour Talk. I'm your host, Corey Haslam.
And I'm Patricia Vanderka.
We had a few events that happened since our last episode, so let's get right to it. Let's kick things off with the Blue Tees Golf Challenge at Timber Ridge Golf Course. Now, conditions were a little bit colder than we're used to for May. The wind wasn't as bad as we saw the rest of the week, but golfers were primed and ready to shoot some good scores.
I agree with you on that one. Given how windy Trillium Wood was, it was nice to just have it a little bit calmer. I think the trees at Timber Ridge definitely helped that out. And it gave us some nice low numbers for our respective flights.
Golfers were definitely able to attack this course and attack it early on, and we'll get to that in a second. Taking the crown from Champ Flight, we had Christian Logue shooting a 2 over 73.
Awesome performance by Christian. He came out firing on all cylinders. Great to see him take that one. So, no matter at what point of the season, getting that win early on definitely builds confidence for the rest of the season for sure.
Getting that win in the first couple of events really going to build your confidence and really put you in great standing, that order of merit. Now, an impressive thing about A-Flight is we had not one, but two opening hole eagles in A-Flight. Who would have thought the scoring almost better off early on in the round in A-Flight than in any other flight?
It means the first hole is pretty gettable, and pin location must have been a pretty tasty spot for those guys to take advantage of it.
We're definitely going flag hunting from rather far back. And then taking the crown over an A-Flight is Isaac Ferguson with a 2-shot victory, 8 over 79.
Isaac's a newcomer to the tour this year, so what a great way to say, hi, I'm here. Welcome to the tour, Isaac. Nice, good win there for you, buddy.
All right, and on to B-Flight. Coming in second via a playoff, Mark Van Alstyne shooting at 15 over 86, and then coming victorious in the playoff, Glenn Parsonow also shooting a 15 over 86. Now, this playoff, watching it firsthand, was incredible. We went off of one on the par 5, where we had seen a couple of eagles throughout the day. Now, we had a lot of drama in this playoff. Both players were able to hit the green and have very long par putts. Mark was able to make his first, almost a 20-footer, and then on top of him, Glenn was able to pour it right in on top of it under pressure. Second hole wasn't as quite as dramatic. There was a little bit of a sideways shots out of the rough. Glenn did get the job done, but what a playoff. 2 holes, incredible out of B-Flight.
And it's always great to see when you got one guy draining a long putt. You were there. You probably saw how long it was. 15 feet maybe for par?
20 feet.
20 feet for par. And then it's pretty much the player saying, all right, I've made it. You're up. What can you do? So amazing to see that happening and watching them continue on to the second hole.
Yeah, to going from a must-make putt to continue the playoff to winning on the next hole, incredible. Also, very interesting tidbit on another tour, these two did go head-to-head in a playoff, unfortunately for Mark, with the same result. All right, and in C-Flight, and taking it, Henrik Henny Toning shooting a 17 over 88. 88 gonna almost always get it done in C-Flight.
So great performance by Henrik, but also a great showing by Ryan and Joseph too. So Henrik, way to go on a solid victory there at Timber Ridge.
And then capping it off for this tournament, we have Open at Stableford. Again, the ONS King, Mike DeFlorio, taking it home with 29 points.
I mean, what can you say? If you're on fire, you're on fire. So, I mean, it's a great field to be a part of. The guys genuinely even root for each other from time to time. Obviously, they always want to win, but it's nice to see Mike take that one too, and see how close it'll get in the Open at Stableford throughout the entire season.
All right, moving on to our second and final tournament of the week, the Sundog Open at Black Bear Ridge Golf Course. Great to be here for the first time. The sun was shining, but somebody turned down the thermostat, starting off when we first teed off at 2 degrees and creeping up to 13 degrees, but that wind chill probably brought that way down.
I think some of the golfers were having maybe a little bit of fear thinking about a frost delay. We did have one at Trillium, so you never know, something like that could play in their heads. Luckily for us, we didn't have to have one, and kick things off right at 8 a.m. bright and early.
Their conditions were definitely tough, and I think some of the scores are going to reflect that. All right, and let's start off with Champ Flight, see how they did. Taking this crown after finishing second previously, Arjun Walia shooting an 8 over 80, and believe it or not, this is an incredible score on this day.
Great to see Arjun win after finishing second at Timber Ridge. He's always a consistent golfer when he's out there, so nice to see him claim that one.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting as they were playing together, coming down to pretty much the last group. On 18, they started off tied.
Well, then Arjun must have had some magic in him to capture the victory. We know that the 18th, tough little hole, very gettable. When we played it, you know, it has that nice little upper deck finish there. So tough greens too. So for Arjun to get that victory, it's a good showing by him.
Knowing what he needs to do and getting it done with a birdie. What a way to finish. All right, moving on to A Flight. And then capturing his first title of the year, Peter Briggs, a 10 over 82.
I can't say it enough. Peter's been a really great player since he's joined the tour. And not only that, it caps off a fourth place finish that he also had at the TaylorMade Open where he shot a +6. So tougher conditions at Black Bear Ridge, but that's two finishes in the top 5, catapulting him to a pretty good spot in the order of merit in the A Flight.
And we did get a moment to stop and talk with Peter about his round, so let's hear from Peter.
I mean, I feel like I left a lot on the table today, but my short game saved me. I putted really well. I think 29 putts today, chipped in for a birdie on 10 or 11. But yeah, my short game was money, and I hit driver once, and I took 3 off the tee once as well. So pretty happy with it.
All right, thanks, Peter, for telling us about your round. All right, on to B Flight. Bouncing back real quick in first place, Mark Van Alstyne shooting a 13 over 85. Hot week for Mark.
Playing some really good golf to just narrowly lose in the playoff to Glenn at Timber, to come back the next day and just claim the Sundog Open title for the B Flight. Just amazing all around. So congratulations, Mark, on a wonderful 2 days for sure.
All right, and then in C Flight, getting it done in a playoff over Al Norman, Joseph Avila, both of them shooting a 19 over 91. Joseph had a heck of a week in the Belleville area, coming second, and then winning in a playoff. Way to pound on the door and just knock it right over.
Funny thing is, too, he was not into the Sundog Open until literally the morning of. Last minute decision. He actually emailed us the night before, can I get it in play? I really want to play Black Bear. We got him in, and good things happen to those who wait, so to speak, with 2 second place finishes at Timber and at Trillium, having him win it in style in a playoff for Black Bear Ridge and the Sundog Open. Way to go, Joseph.
What a playoff it was. It was more like a marathon, having to go 3 holes and finishing off on the monster par 5, number 11. All right, and then concluding this event, we have Open Net Stableford, Carl Thompson getting the victory here with 32 points.
Carl has been a tour staple. I still remember when he won a sea flight victory over at Big Win Island, jumped into the lake. He made the move over to ONS, and nice to see him with a win already this early in the season.
All right, next week, we're headed up to the Owen Sound area to 2 amazing courses. First, we're starting off this next week at Legacy Ridge. It's an amazing course. We're going back there for the 2nd straight year. Incredible time. And then the next day, we're headed over to Cobble Beach Golf Links. I know we took a year off of going there, but we're happy to be back.
Both great courses. Really excited to be going back. The Legacy Ridge course was Stanley Thompson, designed in 1920. He only designed the front 9, and I can tell you the back 9 and the front 9 are 2 completely different beasts. Front 9 is a little bit tighter with smaller greens. Back 9 a little bit wider, more forgiving, but much larger greens. So guys, I cannot say this enough. Make sure you read those course guides. Special shout out to Steve Brightson, Mike DeFlorio, and Steve Zimmy Zimmerman, because those guys do a lot to make sure that everything is detailed and you know exactly how to play those holes. As for Cobble Beach, last time we were there, the conditions were exceptionally windy. It's a gettable golf course, lots of undulations up and down. Greens were immaculate, and you have spectacular views of Georgian Bay the entire time you're there. So both courses are going to be quite a treat for the guys, and we'll see what happens. Looking forward to it.
That's been this week's episode of GTM Tour Talk. I'm your host, Corey Haslam.
And I'm Patricia Banderka.
See you next episode. Have fun on the links.